Hello, ladies and
Mario.
jelly spoons, and welcome to Inside the Dojo and Gameplay. And what we're talking about today is that bad boy back there, the Nintendo 64. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, they just had an anniversary. Come on, let me show you what I'm talking about. If you don't know what a Nintendo 64 is, let me pick this up. That right there, that is a Nintendo 64. That's right, and that monster, oh my god, that monster is responsible for so much joy in the 90s. You have no idea literally how that little system changed the face of gaming forever. And when we talking about today, we talking about first person shooters. You ever seen that Nintendo 64 controller right here? This boomerang thing? Now, a lot of people don't like the shape of it, but me, I absolutely love the shape. You got the Z trigger right there underneath where you can pull the trigger and shoot. You got a slot open. We'll talk about that later. You got the analog, which is one of the first controllers with the analogs. You got the D-pad directional. You got the C buttons. You got B, A, start, and you got the shoulder buttons. It is literally the amalgamation of every controller, and Nintendo, baby, was the connoisseurs on the premier first front with this controller. Yeah, now PlayStation did have the dual analog, but this one right here, this was the game changer, especially this little slot right here. Let me grab it. You see what this is right here? This is the rumble pack, and it inserts just like a clip on a gun. Matter of fact, it even helped you with the sound and the feel of games like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. You don't know what this little bad boy did. You missed the whole slot if you ain't know about that. You be out there like John Wick, out there with Turok hitting dinosaurs from corners in every single last corner. This little baby right here was a dream to hold. And there had never been a controller quite like this. But come on, let me show you something. Alright, so this is the Nintendo 64 controller. These are the C buttons here. You got the analog here, you got B and A, you got the D-pad. It's actually pretty comfortable in the hand, and there's a bunch of different ways to hold it. So this is the start button in case you want to know, and this right here is the analog. Now the analog can be used a bunch of different ways with your thumb. Now it kind of feels a little looser than what you're used to with like a PlayStation or Xbox, but all the rest of the buttons, they are candy coated goodness. The C buttons, which have many functions, and the shoulder buttons for many different games. Like I said, this is a master controller when it comes to aerodynamics. But however you play this, there's a way that, you know, this and that trigger button right there, if you're left-handed or right-handed, it'll depend on how this controller is held. Now I hold it because I'm right-handed, and I can hit the analog, and I can hold it with one hand, like when you play like Turok. But you also give the ability to use your left hand for the D-pad, or you can put your left and your right hand and your left under the middle for the trigger, so it's just as comfortable. And you can use the C buttons, B, A, and start. But the problem is you're gonna have to cross over to get the D-pad, or you can hold it like a regular controller and go back and forth. I've been known to do this in some games. It can become a problem though, but other than that, I would say just stick to the regular basic joke up. Now this hole right here, this is that slot that I told you about where we had that little clip that went up in there. That little clip is a rumble pack. Now the rumble pack is an amazing little piece of technology, because they didn't come with, you know what I'm saying, inside rumble technology just yet, but this joint clicks in like a clip to that Favorite 9, and it's really solid. It's almost hard to pull out at all. So when you actually playing and doing, it's not going to fall out. Matter of fact, they have a release button right here on the center. That's to let it go so that you can pull it out. It ain't gonna come out easy. That's what I like about it. But if you ever had the rumble pack, absolutely works. Now there are a bunch of different attachments when it comes to these little things. Now remember what this is. This is the rumble pack. This goes in the controller. Now there is another little box that we're going to talk about in a little bit, but this right here goes into the controller. Now we back and we gonna have some fun. Now this controller, which I told you, is on point for firing left, right. You be out there like John Wick and Turok. You be out there in GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. You be sniping around corners and hitting people left and right. That, like I said, the actual stick is a little bit looser than what you're used to, but it actually feels really comfortable when you press your thumb on it and add some tension to it. It responds very well too, especially for a controller made in the 90s. And this baby still works all these years later, and it still works. Can't do that with a modern controller. I'm telling you, this was modern technology back then, and it was built to last. Now, I love the way this feels in the hands, although a lot of people don't really understand. Now, there is the other expansion part that I was telling you about. Let me show you this other block. All right, so we're going to go over here, and I'm going to show you how it gets down and what we're going to do, because this one can be confused with another little brick right here. This right here, this is the jumper pack. The jumper pack comes mostly pre-installed inside the Nintendo 64, and you really don't want to remove it because you can't play any games at all unless it's in place. But that held the place in case you got the expansion pack. Now the expansion pack add more memory and graphics to the games. Come on, let me show you. So if you're wondering where this goes, this is top loaded right here to the front. So this is the jumper pack, which I removed because I know it says do not remove jumper pack, but in order to install the expansion pack, you have to. So let me pull the clip off right here and show you. It's top loaded in its front, and that is where the jumper pack is, and that is what the jumper pack looks like. Now you can stick something in there or your finger and pop it out, but this or that expansion pass has to be in there in order to play a game. If neither one of these is inside, you won't get no visual, no audio, and you won't be able to play a game. So these have to be installed in order to play a game. So whether it is the expansion pack or whether it's the jumper pack, which most of the time comes pre-installed, one of these things have to be in place in order for you to play the game. And once you do that, it's all gravy, baby. We ready to go. Now this right here, this is the love. You pop it on, you got the expansion pass in there, and I'm telling you, it makes games better. Games that utilize this, like Resident Evil 2, you won't see a difference. You actually won't see a difference. It gives you the extra bump in RAM that you need in order to play these games a lot better, that are higher functioning than most Nintendo 64 games. All right, now we back. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I let you take a look at both of the little pieces that go in there. You have one that goes into the controller and two that goes into the system. Like I said, pretty technical piece of hardware for 1990, but there you go. So it was, I believe, 1996 when this came out, but now let me show you how we get it down, because once those are in place, you pull out the case and we ready to go. You already know what this bag is. What's in the box? Oh, and you see the key, right? Star Fox 64, baby. You know what's in this case, right? This, what's in the box? What's in the box? I'm gonna show you right now. All right, so we gonna open this bad boy up, stick it on out. All right, we gonna peel open the goodness right there, Chief. Don't worry about them switch cartridges. And then right there, ooh, this is the other stash. This is the secret stash. Now remember, I showed you I got a whole case full of nothing but Nintendo 64 games. This is the other stash right here. I keep this one. These are my standbys right here. I got WCW versus NWO Revenge. We got some 1080 snowboarding. Let me show you how we gets down right here. Let me pop out another one. Sorry, it's gonna be kind of hard. We got that what? We got that Mayhem, WCW Mayhem. Come on. Everything on here is on deck. And like I said, this one is normally next to my 64, so I can swap out and go fast. What we got here? We're gonna flip these up so we can do it a little bit easier. It's always nice to have a few cartridges on standby that you can go to. I have way more cartridges than this. These are just the ones that I did. I think I did a video recently about all of these. That's why I had them all together. But this case is either on my wall or in my closet, but it's definitely out there. All right, so let me show you what else we got here in my to-go bag. What's in the box and what's over there. Matter of fact, let me show you. If I go over to my wall over here, you can see I got WrestleMania 2000 over there. I got what's that, Mario Kart 64 regular. So what we got here? We got WCW versus Nitro. We got Killer Instinct Gold. You know that Killer Instinct Gold is on deck. We got Star Fox 64. You know that's always good. That's always gravy, baby. Star Wars Racers. You don't know about that. You don't know nothing about that. Perfect Dark, and that's the game I told you about. That's the game where you be like John Wick out there with that Rumble Pack. And what's we got? We got All-Star Baseball. It's a good time if you want to get down on some sports. We got Madden 99. It's nice to know where Madden come from. You just don't understand. Quest 64. That's a beautiful RPG. I didn't even know existed. What we got here, Turok, that's another one that I told you about. That controller, yeah, baby. We be out there sniping like John Wick. And then we got Mario 64. This is the definitive cartridge because most Nintendo 64 came right here with this one. This was the rollout one. You've got this, a Pilot Wings, but I definitely did Mario 64, baby. And then we got a little Diddy Kong Racing. Now what I got in there is the Japanese form of Mario Kart. That joint's sitting up in my system right now because that's always in there. We could always do Mario Kart any day, every day, all day, and twice on Tuesdays. But today we here to talk about these right here. So I'm glad that I took you on a little trip. Take a little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip with me. I'm glad I was able to take you on a little trip of some Nintendo 64 goodness, ladies and gentlemen, because this is what we do here. You got to enjoy it. And unfortunately, you cannot feel this, smell this, taste this with an emulator. This has to be 100%. 100%. You got to be right here. You got to experience it. You got to be here to feel it, to know it, to experience it. That's what I'm talking about. Nintendo 64. It may be 2025 out there, but it's Nintendo 64 96 up in here. So I'm gonna throw this on my back and we get ready to get down on some Nintendo 64. So you guys stay tuned. I want you to sit back and relax with your favorite bag of snacks and get ready for these game tracks, baby, for that N64 for life. That's right, baby. That's right. Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like the 64. And I'm telling you, just sit right there. You got a co-pilot seat right here next to me, and we about to get down. It's about to go off, all right? So don't worry about nothing. Your boy gonna take care of it. Come on with me. Sit down, relax, and let's get it on.